Welcome to this Ansys How-To Series video for Granta EduPack. In this video, we're going to be focusing on how to format and customize charts using the chart toolbar within the software. Chart customization can be used for both enhancing clarity of information as well as material selection. For this tutorial, we will use the introductory Level 1 database. Click the Chart Select function in the main toolbar. For this example, we will use the chart Young's modulus versus density. For details on how to create this chart, check out our tutorial on creating charts, link in the description below. At the top of the chart, we can see the chart toolbar. Let's explore the content. The first button on the toolbar is Chart Settings, which opens up a pop-up window. From here, stage settings, x-axis, and y-axis details can be edited. Note, this window can also be reached by double-clicking the chart axis or by right-clicking the stage within the Selection Stages panel and clicking Edit Stage. The Stage Settings tab allows you to edit the title of the graph and add chart nodes. Details for the number of records in this stage, as well as how many records pass both this stage and all stages for material selection projects, can be found here. The axes units are shown here, and pass settings shown here. The display options are editable with tick boxes. By clicking on the X or Y-axis tab at the top of the pop-up window, we can edit settings originally chosen during the chart creation phase. The attribute being plotted on each axis, as well as the axis title, can be changed here. For example, let's change the Y-axis title, Young's modulus, to stiffness. Don't forget the units. The axis settings can also be changed, depending on the attributes being plotted. Parameters settings concern properties in advanced databases, which will be covered in other tutorials. Let's click OK to apply our settings. We can now see that the Y-axis is labeled stiffness. The next button on the toolbar is the cursor. This allows for labeling and editing of individual material bars or bubbles. As shown in the Creating Charts tutorial, materials can be labeled by a click and drag. To remove any material labels, simply highlight the label and click Delete. Multiple labels can be deleted by clicking and dragging to create a highlight box and clicking Delete. Let's say we're interested in a specific material within this chart, acrylonitrile butadiene styrene. To label a specific material record, go to the Results list on the left panel, right-click on the name, and click on Label. The material label will appear on the graph. Right-clicking on a material label within the chart allows for many different chart customization options. For simplicity, we can rename this long material name with its more common abbreviation, ABS. We can also change the record color to fuchsia and bring the bubble forward. This makes the material easier to identify within the chart. This next three buttons in the toolbar are focused on material selection: index and display lines, box selection, and delete lines and boxes. Index lines can be used on a chart to compare the performance index value of different materials. If you are unclear about what index lines are for, click here. The default slope is 1, which here corresponds to a tie in tension. Press OK, and we can control where the index line sits on the graph by clicking and moving the line. This tool can be used in advanced selection projects. Right-clicking the line reopens the Line Properties panel. The Box Selection tool is next, and with a click and drag, you can create a selection box. We can see that records that fall outside the line and box selection will automatically be grayed out. The lines and boxes can also be used to demonstrate trends in the data or emphasize specific areas. Simply select Show for Display Only when drawing the line or box. Lines and boxes can be removed individually by clicking on a specific item and pressing Delete, or press the Delete Lines and Boxes button to remove all lines and box selections within the chart. Next are the scale buttons. The magnify button allows us to zoom by clicking, or create a zoom box by clicking and dragging. The button next to it lets us zoom out, and the autoscale button takes the view back to the normal size of best fit. The next three buttons allow for direct editing of the charts. To add text or a title to the chart, click here on the text icon. Then click on the chart to create a text box and enter the text. Let's title our chart Chart 1. Click away from the label once done. Text can be placed anywhere on the chart by clicking and dragging. If we want to edit or delete the text, right-click on the label. The arrow and curve tools are accessible here. By clicking on the arrow tool, you can point to specific areas of the chart. The curve tool allows you to draw trade-off curves on the chart, draw circles around results, or use it as a pointer. For example, let's circle the foams, label them, and point to the group. You can format the line or arrow by right-clicking and selecting Format Line. Let's change the color and style and apply our changes. To remove these edits, press on each element and click Delete. The next three icons edit the number of bubbles visible in this chart. The first button is Show Family Envelopes, which edits family envelopes around sets of materials. Just in the same way as we can with materials, we can label these envelopes by clicking and dragging. Press the icon again to remove the family envelopes. The next button, Show Results from All Enabled Stages, combines and shows results from all stages when we have more than one selection stage. The final button can be used to hide failed records. As was shown earlier, when a selection line or box is used in a chart, materials which fall outside of this boundary fail the conditions and appear gray. These can be hidden using the Hide Failed button. The next four buttons are only viable in specific situations, shown here. Details for these buttons will be covered in future tutorials. The final button, Change to Nearby Record, can be used when looking in an area of the chart with many overlapping bubbles. Highlight one material in a crowded area of the chart. Then select the Nearby Record button. A list of materials nearby our original selection is shown and can be selected here. In this how-to video, we've covered how to format and customize charts within Granta EduPack using the chart toolbar. Links to videos on how to create these charts, as well as how to use the limit and tree stages to further narrow down a material selection project, can be found in the description below. Links to additional resources for Granta EduPack and other Ansys software can also be found in the description. Be sure to check out our channel to see other Ansys learning videos, and thank you for watching.